Steelers added, I think they're at 13, maybe 14 guys at this point to their practice squad. 2 very notable names. I guess 3 very notable names. They bring back Braden Fajoko, which I think was an absolute steal to be able to add him to your practice squad. Gotta love that one. Then they bulked up their cornerback room even more by adding Anthony Brown, former Dallas Cowboy, who's got 69 games of starting experience in his career, including 12 last year for the Cowboys, 9 interceptions, 59 pass deflections. And they didn't stop there. They went out and got another starting corner, or starting defensive back, I should say, and former Jacksonville Jaguars 4th-round pick, Josiah Scott, who has 35 games of experience, 4 starts with the Eagles last season, and recorded 2 interceptions for them in the 2022 campaign. I mean, practice squad-wise, Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Yeah, clean it up. Clean it up.
Killed it.
How did Braden Fajoko not get signed by someone else?
I have no idea.
I don't
Tanner
understand.
Muse got signed by somebody, and Braden Fajoko did not.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Braden Fajoko, like, probably should have made the 53 man. Like, he was that good. But yeah, that's a huge win. And then I do think it's like, I do think it's interesting that they keep adding to the cornerbacks, you know?
Yeah.
I get just practice squad guys, but these are names. Like, these are guys who've played.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think they're really concerned about what they have right now at cornerback?
I don't know if they're super concerned, but I think that they understand that anything could happen. You know, I don't think that I think of any position that they have right now, they look at cornerback as things could go awry. You know, we could have some hiccups here at the cornerback position. And I just think that they'd like to be ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? So if it does happen, I don't think that they're going to walk in and like make a change or anything. And I don't think that this has any reflection on a certain player, but I do think that they look at the group as a whole and say, okay, maybe things could go bad and we need to have backup plans just in case, especially because if Desmond King, you know, there's been a lot of talk about where Desmond King's going to play. I don't know if he's going to play inside or outside mainly. I couldn't tell you. But if he's a guy that they say is only suitable on the inside, Anthony Brown's a guy that's suitable on the outside. So maybe that's, you know, where you make the change there, or maybe Chandon Sullivan bounces out. I just think that they want, I think that they had options throughout the summer. They didn't have options throughout the summer. And I think now they're just trying to have options, you know, just to say like, okay, look, we'll just keep testing everybody out in different places until something clicks and we'll make that work. But yeah, I don't think it's like Joey Porter Jr. isn't ready or Patrick Peterson makes us nervous. I think it's just like that's the one position they couldn't solve during the summer, so they got to figure it out now.
Yeah, I do also get what you're saying. Like I think there's a wide range of outcomes possible with this. Like Pat Pete's a little older. Like he could get hurt real easily. But I think also like even with Joey, like there's a wide range of he could be a star and be ready to go right away.
Yep.
Or he could need like a lot more time than we think. And he could, you know, just be a pure backup for right now. And I think like there are other guys that are like that too. Like the top end of your cornerback room, I don't think you absolutely know what you're going to get out of all of them. I mean, I think Levi Wallace is a pretty steady. I think there's a lot of talent, but there's not a lot of like, oh, I'm certain that this guy is going to play this way and be this durable and we're going to get him for a whole season doing these types of things. Like there is like I said, a wide range of outcomes possible throughout the season.
Yeah. I think that they have, just like you said, one certain. That certain is Levi Wallace. Outside of that, they want to protect themselves, you know, and we could go a whole year without Anthony Brown or Josiah Scott getting called up, but we could go one game where one of them's on the active roster, you know,
it could be
and
like
I just think,
what was it? The Bills game or the
with Josh Jackson, who's not on an NFL roster. I realized that yesterday, 2 days ago, I was looking at guys that got cut. He didn't even spend the summer with anybody.
Really?
Like, the guy had an impressive little run with the Steelers last year as a former like 3rd round pick or something out of Iowa, right?
I thought he was I thought he was even higher than that because I remember that year he came out of Iowa and he was
Kansas,
at least in
Kansas.
He
came out of Kansas.
Oh, okay.
There might have been Kings out of Iowa.
There was a different Jackson from Iowa because they had 2 corners at one point that were just shut down. Like they were so good.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, no, that's really weird. Like, do people just not need corners
Oh
right
no,
now?
he is from Iowa. He is from Iowa. You're right.
But this
Not
is
from
what
Kansas.
I was like. There was obviously going to be guys with starting experience, starting caliber players who were getting cut
Mm-hmm.
off of NFL rosters. So like, why are we keeping James Pierre? Like that's my
Yep.
that's
That's
that
the
was my
that's another question is like maybe or another thought there is like maybe it's not about Joey Porter or Patrick Peterson or anybody. Maybe it's if James stinks in game one and he just isn't it on special teams, well, we got two other options that we could just bounce up real quick. I'm sure both of them will be protected. I think you can't protect anybody till like Tuesday or something, but I would imagine both of them are protected. And maybe that is the case because that's a good argument right there. Like Anthony Brown is definitely better than James Pierre. You know, Josiah Scott's probably better than James Pierre. I don't know how good they are on special teams, but just defensively, like if you're building a roster, you're not keeping James Pierre over either of those guys. You know, why
yeah
would you do that?
yeah absolutely. Like why? And I don't know. Maybe this is a longer term plan than we're kind of looking right now. But
Yeah,
that was like the whole like why would you? I don't know. That made no sense to me to keep James Pierre at the time. It makes even less sense now.
yeah, I agree. But win for the Steelers to get both those guys on the practice squad. We'll see what happens after week one. I don't expect to change until then, but James goes in there for one snap and screws up,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Anthony Brown's about to get a call up,
yeah,
and we're gonna go from there.
it's pressure on him and pressure on him for like not to like make something out of not a lot of snaps, which is
Yep,
that's
very
tough.
minimal snaps and special teams. Like he's got
Yeah,
a quiet special teams day. He's 3 days away from being on the practice squad.
yeah.
That's what he is.